Let's say a year ago, you booked a plane ticket to the best country in the world, the place where you actually want to live, and you're about to go to that place tomorrow. And today you find out that the plane is gonna crash. Will you still board that flight? Are you still gonna go to the airport tomorrow, check in, do all the fucking formalities, and board that plane, knowing that very well it's gonna crash? Now I'm hoping if you're not a insane person, like a psychopath or like a dumbass, you'll probably say no. Imagine there was a person who said, bro, I've thought of this vacation so much. I really want to go on this vacation. This is a place I really want to go at. And I've been planning this trip for a year or something, and I've paid all the money for it. I've invested all of my time into researching this. I've booked the Airbnb over there. I've invested my time into ensuring this trip actually comes to fruition. And he's extremely close. He has invested a lot of shit into this fucking thing, into this vision, this dream he has. But he just knows the flight is gonna fucking crash. And he still boards that plane. Despite that. What would you tell him? Probably that he should not go on that plane. Well, this is a pretty big concept. A very big mistake which I was about to make in my business. And this shit has costed me years of my life, man. Not years, but months of my life, to put it out simply. I'll give you a lot of examples, and it's actually much more common than what you imagine. I know this concept is not making sense, but if you watch this till the end, I promise this video will probably end up saving years of your life and a lot of money as well. And you will be able to make more money because you're not going to be wasting your time trying to make a dream come into fruition which was not supposed to be there in the first place. So the concept of this came I'll give you a quick story. So I had a neighbor around a year ago, and I absolutely loved that guy. He was one of the most realist people. If you ever go to the gym, you're gonna know that gym bro, right? The person who you went to the gym with and you had an absolute blast. Someday you were heartbroken and that guy's yeah bro, FDB, fuck that bitch, whatever. And he's motivating you, he's pushing you to train harder. And then one random day, he might be heartbroken, he might be feeling a bit down, maybe something happened in his personal life, in his school life, whatever. I was still in school at that time. And you just tell him bro, come on bro, you need to push harder, you need to do that thing. You're at the 10th rep and you can barely fucking move the bar of your chest, you're doing bench press or something. And he's yelling bro, that's why she fucking left you, so push the bar harder. Obviously, we are fucking childish and all of that crap, but we all have that friend. And he's very freaking dear to all of us. So this guy had a girlfriend who he did not really like. I'll tell you the quick story. So it was October of 2023, I remember, and we had gone to a party. So Bacardi is a pretty popular alcohol brand. A lot of people have heard of it. I don't drink alcohol, but it's a alcohol brand. And every once a year, the place where we used to live, they used to have an event that they would come out to our place and they would host a massive DJ, and there was free alcohol and stuff. So obviously it attracted a lot of people because people were yeah bro, we're gonna get free alcohol, DJ is gonna be there as well. And it was basically a club sort of environment. So I go there, and that phase of my life I was totally yeah, we just need to get the body count up. That was the sole dedication I had. I did not even know what the fuck is entrepreneurship, what the fuck is business. And I go over there, and there were 3 girls who I found absolutely freaking gorgeous. I approached all 3 of them, not directly because they were not in a group, but yeah, one by one. I spoke to that one, I spoke to that one, then the third one I was speaking to, she was dancing with me. So my friend over here was standing next to me, the girl was next to me, and I was here. So yeah, we were just having a nice time, and my friend was bro, so you got in the girl, whatever. I also need to speak to that. So then there was a girl, and he kind of liked her. So he went ahead, he approached her, everything. He was kind of shy at first, and then it started to get better. So a week and 2 passed, whatever. And then he fell in love with the girl. This went fine, but obviously we all were teenagers. The girl was a teenager as well. And obviously, in teenagers, you're not supposed to actually have super serious relationships because you generally cannot uphold them. 99% people cannot, at least I cannot. When I was an absolute teenager, I don't know about now. Been a while since I've been in a serious freaking relationship and shit. But yeah, she obviously used to go out with a lot of guys, and She was just not loyal, to be honest. I don't know if she ever cheated on him, but she was not like a loyal girl or something. And he was obviously like pissed off with this. There were times where he used to get like so freaking mad at her, and then he was like, "Bro, Somil, I'm gonna break up with her." So we used to like walk back to our houses from school because we both lived together. And yeah, he was just complaining about her. He was like, "Bro, I'm gonna leave her." Then he used to maybe block her on Instagram, and for like 3 4 days, then he used to unblock her. Then she used to apologize. She used to come to him in school and then apologize. So it was a constant like break up and then patch up. So this guy knew this girl was clearly not right for her, and he tried to separate himself from her. He tried to block her or break up with her. But every time this one thing happened, he was like, "Bro, I've already invested months into this relationship. I've already built like a emotional connection with this girl. I've already invested so much. I've already put so much at stake. I've already put in like so many fucking efforts." So then he used to feel like all of the efforts I've put in till this point were a waste. And then he used to go back to her. He was like how do we quantify it? So like let's say out of the total amount of effort a guy can put in a girl is 100. So he thought that he has already put like 70 points of effort into this relationship, and that's a lot. He has invested a lot. So he should just stick it so that he can actually reach like the point 100 where they both live in bliss, they were happily married after whatever, like typical fairy tale bullshit. But he did not realize that that relationship was never meant to go there because she wanted something else and he wanted something else. And eventually they ended up breaking up. Like in the end, they broke up. But he tortured himself. He went through months of pain where every single day he was doubting himself. He was thinking, like, bro, is this actually going to work out? He was thinking, like, she's not the right girl because she has these traits which I don't prefer, which I don't value. But at the same time, because he has invested so much into the relationship, so much of time and emotions into that, he was not willing to let go. And something similar happened to me as well. So, the first time I fell in love, like, it was, I think, February of 2024 or 2023. Like, let me remember, like, it was February of 2023. Like, damn, bro, it's been a while. So, in February of 2023, I think so yeah, like, our relationship had been going on since, like, January or December, like, January 2023 or December 2022. So, it was kind of started, like, around that time. And on February 14th, so yeah, like, Valentine's Day, we had like a big off fight because yeah, like it was a farewell we had in our school, and like she thought I was cheating on her or something, but I really wasn't. And yeah, so basically, long story short, we had a really big fight in February of 2024, and I knew that from that point onwards, like, there's no way this relationship is gonna work out because she has so much of like trust issues. She obviously does not trust me for some reason. I did not do anything wrong, and yeah, I basically knew at the deepest bottom, like the deepest depths of my heart, like this relationship is not gonna work out. And still, I went back to her. I apologized. I said like, yeah, we should like maybe give this another try. We should give it another shot because I was thinking like maybe like I was again the same problem. I had invested months into that relationship already. I had built up that emotional connection. I have given so much to the shit. So maybe we should try to get like an ROI out of it. And I'm not saying like ROI in terms of sex or something. I'm saying like you've invested so much of resources into this relationship, so you kind of want to see it succeed. Like you give so much of effort to something, you obviously want it to fucking succeed, right? You don't want to look like an idiot because, like Alex Hormozy said it the best, we're so fucking scared of appearing dumb in front of people who matter to us. And all my friends knew about the relationships, all of her friends knew about the relationship. So if I break up, like, I actually fought with so many people for the relationship. I said, like, yeah, she's gonna be an awesome, great girl, whatever. So obviously, if I break up, if she breaks up, she looks dumb in front of her friends. I look dumb in front of my friends because we said, yeah, we both love each other. So if we both loved each other, like, what's the problem? And I continued that relationship for like months. I think we finally broke up, if I'm not wrong, in June 2023. If I'm not wrong, like, yeah, I think 13 June 2023. That's when he finally broke up. I still remember the date, man, like 13 June. And yeah, like, long story short, it was like, holy shit, man. I should have ended it then and there. And I remember like when I broke up everything, I blocked her everywhere except like chess.com. So I blocked her on Instagram, all social media platforms, and she messaged me on chess.com something like check my message on Instagram, and I said like I blocked you. And I kind of thought I should have just done this earlier. So I knew from February of 2023 that this relationship is going to fail. But like I knew it's going to fail. I know there was like a 0% chance this is ever going to work out. But as an optimistic human being, I was thinking like I've already invested so much of shit. I deep down knew in my consciousness and my intuition. But I was like, bro, I've done so much for this relationship already. So I should put in more efforts to kind of try to make it work instead of giving up on this. And that caused me like months of more pain. So how do I give a good example? So like let's say the amount of sticky, like let's say there was glue on both of these hands, and the more surface area is in contact, the harder it is for like, let's say there was glue attached to both of it, like both these hands, and if I try to like separate them, it's gonna cause a lot of pain because the skin is gonna be pulled out. If only my fingers are stuck and I try to pull them out, now it's gonna be painful like separating my fingers, but at the same time it's not gonna be as painful as if my both the hands were stuck to each other, stuck firmly with glue, and now I try to separate them. So even though it would have been really painful to break up in February, it would have been less painful than sticking around for a few more months, because when you spend more months with each other, you build a stronger and a deeper connection with each other in your heart, with your soul. You invest more time into the relationship, you invest more emotions into the relationship, you think that she's actually going to be a part of your future. So breaking up after that was more painful. And whenever I had the thought of a breakup, I was thinking, bro, the breakup is going to be so fucking painful. Because I've already invested like so many resources into this shit, into this relationship, not realizing that the more I stayed with her, the more painful the breakup actually became. And sticking with her would have been a good option if there was a chance, if there was a possibility of the relationship actually coming to fruition. But deep down in my heart, I knew that there's never gonna be there's a zero chance this will actually ever work out. So I knew the relationship was bound to fail. And if I just had the fucking guts or the courage to appear dumb in front of all the people whose opinions I cared about, all my friends, whatever, because they knew about it, if I was willing to appear dumb and I was just willing to walk away from the relationship knowing that I have to go through pain, and I could avoid that pain by just sticking to it. If I was just willing to go through the pain, I would have saved myself months of pain. Because it never fixes itself. Like, I still had to go through ups and downs in the subsequent months of deciding to stick with the relationship. Like, there were still fights, there was still shit wrong with the relationship. So I still had to go through the pain. And finally, when we separated, because now our bond was stronger, it was not like this, it was like this. When we separated, the glue was so fucking strong that it genuinely pained me a lot. And that's the core concept I realized. So I'll actually give you I hope these examples made a good enough point of illustrating what exactly is the point I'm trying to convey. But I was in the beach yesterday, I was watching the sunset, I was just chilling, I jumped into the water and I looked at the massive horizon, a beautiful sunset. I'm in Thailand, whatever, and the sunset over here is absolutely beautiful. And I just thought to myself, if I was if I had booked the I actually got the idea because the beach where I am at, it's very close to the airport. So you can literally keep on walking on the beach and you can reach the airport where all the flights land. So the Phuket International Airport. So you might have heard of it. It's a very popular beach. So let's say planes literally fly 10 meters above your head. So it's very close to where the airport actually is, and planes fly so freaking close to the waves. So I just looked at a couple of planes flying, a couple of planes landing, a couple of planes taking off and going into the horizon. So it was dark as well, almost sunset. So the lights of the plane, they were shining, they were twinkling, shimmering, whatever. And I just looked at it and I thought, man, if I was about to go on this plane and this plane was bound to crash and I knew it, I probably won't check in. I'll just be bro, I don't fucking care how important that flight is. I don't fucking care how much I want to go on that plane. I'm simply not gonna go. Imagine that was the first private jet flight of my life. But I knew for the certainty the plane had a bomb on it, a time bomb which would detonate in the middle of the flight. I won't aboard that private jet. Even though a private jet might mean a lot to me. Even though I might have already paid for it, even though I might have already paid like the charges to the airport as well, because I think when you have like a plane on the tarmac, you have to pay like fees for parking fees or something in the airport. So yeah, I might have paid the fee already. I might have paid the like the charter fees to the guy who's chartering it for me and the salaries to the pilots, whatever already. I might have paid for my meals, whatever. But if I knew that I won't make it out of this flight alive, I simply won't go. Because what's the point of it if you fucking die if you don't get what you actually wanted in the first place? And it's a very big thing in business. And actually, like, there was a short about this from Danko as well. He said it's totally cool to restart. He said if you figured out that you're building something which means a lot to you, but you're building it in the wrong direction, then you should be able to have the courage to like not delude yourself, to not distract yourself, to not numb yourself with sedatives like distractions, junk food and shit, and actually take a objective, realistic look at everything and be like, bro, I made this assumption about this thing towards which I'm working on. So let's say you're building a company, a business. You can be like, I'm building this business, but I'm moving in the wrong direction. And because I've invested so much of time into going in the wrong direction, I'm scared to actually change direction because I look fucking dumb in front of my parents who are told I'll make like 50 lakhs or like $100,000 in like 7 months, and like I've spent like 4 months already. And if I try to pivot and go to the right direction, then I might not be able to make $100,000 a month in like 3 months or some shit. And I look in like stupid in front of my parents. You might be like, I've been speaking about this business model, that agency business model is the best business model, or I've been thinking the same, and I've been preaching like it's the gospel or something for like ages, for like 7 months on my YouTube channel. But I kind of realize it's not the best thing. But if I say that this is the wrong thing, then all the people who like have been watching me, all these 2,000, 3,000, like 10,000, like let's say you have 100,000 subscribers, all these 100,000 people are gonna think like I'm dumb, and my status is gonna reduce in front of their eyes. For example, like Hamza is a pretty popular YouTuber, and everyone criticizes him for changing his mind so often. But like I also kind of like in my heart used to criticize him. I used to think like I never criticize him like publicly, because I think like you have to be like the absolute shittiest, like the most disgusting of a human being to actually leave like a hate comment on YouTube. Imagine a guy just trying to do something which is gonna help you out. Imagine a guy just trying to build a better future for himself, and all you have to do is fucking go into his comments and comment shit. I think like those are the worst kind of people ever in the world, so I would never do that. But deep down in my heart, I kind of used to judge him. But looking at it, I genuinely fucking admire that guy's humility, if you want to say, to actually come out and be like, bro, I thought this was gonna be correct, but I was wrong. So he had a girlfriend who he thought he's gonna have like kids with her. He's gonna become like a father. Like, my neck is hurting, and he moved to like Scotland and everything in like the middle of nowhere in a farmland. And the amount of courage it would take to actually come in front of like 2 million people and tell them that I was wrong about it. You don't realize how difficult it is. So I'll give you like the actual example, the actual thing which happened. So I was working on building out this lead database software, and I worked hard on it. I actually like did a pre-sale as well. So I got like a couple of beta users as well. So I did like a lifetime deal where they pay me like a one-time fee and they get unlimited access to the product, to the software. And as I started like uploading the database into the software, so it's basically like you can find verified B2B leads and contacts. So I just realized like I really wanted to make this thing work, because I promised it to a lot of people. I said to everyone like, yeah, I'm gonna make this platform great, whatever. I really wanted to make it work, but at the same time, bro, it was just not making sense like logically. Because the problem which arose is obviously having this massive fucking database. It was becoming like really fucking expensive. Because in order to host such big of a backend, like 700, 800 million needs is gonna be like 100 to like more than that, like 200 to 300 GBs of data, and I would have been paying like thousands of dollars in server costs, and the amount of users it would take in order for me to actually get the amount I was investing back, it would be like how much? Like if I sell it for like $50, I need like 100 users to make like $5,000, and yeah, I need like 100 fucking users, all paying in full, and that's assuming I have a 0% churn rate. Getting like 100 users is not very easy, and that's what I realize. So the costs are gonna be enormous, like thousands of dollars. Uploading the leads in the first place, it's gonna be like extremely difficult as well. And the third thing was constantly updating the database. Because if like I'm not updating it every single day, it's not gonna be useful. Because if I'm having like contact information, emails or something which are like 7 years old, and people are reaching out to them, they're not gonna pay for that. Because they're gonna realize like this is old fucking data, like this shit absolutely does not work. And that's when my eyes opened up. I was like, bro, this shit is useless. Because I have to ensure like the database is continuously updated, but that means I have to continuously every day scrape data, which is just not feasible. Like it's just not feasible, man. Apollo and all these big companies can like they have billions of dollars to invest into this shit. Like they have funding, they have venture capitals, and I'm like fucking bootstrapped, trying to compete with these guys. And logically, it just did not make sense on how this could win over a long enough period of time. Sure, I can like make some money with it in the next year, sure, but over a long enough period of time, making it work would kind of be difficult. And if you want to make it work, you need to like software is a pretty competitive space, and if you want to be good in software, like in a software business, you have to be the best. In the agency space, even if you're not the best, you can still make a couple $1,000s. But yeah, software is really competitive. People will kill you even if they're paying you just like $10 to $50 or something, but the product is not good. And yeah, that's the thing I've realized about software. So like I needed to like I have a concept which I want to explain to you, but I don't know how to fucking articulate it. The point is, I realize that it was a sinking ship. Eventually, this will fail. Not in the short term, like maybe not in 1 to 2 years, but once the database becomes old, and I don't have like enough people or something to manage the database and constantly update the records, everything, like it's gonna be very complicated. It's gonna be very messy, and I just knew for a certainty, in the long term, over a long enough period of time, it's simply not gonna work out. And it actually broke my heart, because I told people I'm gonna make it. I told people I'm gonna make this the best. I'm gonna make this like so fucking good. And I actually have like fucking paying users for this shit as well. So the idea was validated too. But the amount of like the blow I had to take to my ego in order to make it actually work, to in order to make the decision that yeah bro, like this ship might be bound to sink. Like you won't fucking board the Titanic no matter how good it was if you knew it was gonna fucking hit an iceberg and fucking sink to the bottom of the ocean. You won't do it. And it might be painful. You might have a first class ticket booked in the Titanic. It's the best ship, it's the most luxurious thing ever built, like the biggest ship in the world. And your love of your life might be going there, whatever. You won't board that ship though. Because you know it's gonna fucking sink. And you will die. I knew this business is eventually gonna fail if things don't change. Sure, if I have like $10 million like lying around in the bank and I can pay people to make this thing work for me, then it's a different story. I'm not saying it's impossible to do this, but at my current stage, it's pretty freaking difficult. But yeah, so I just had to take the hard fucking decision to not move ahead with it. And if you're wondering like what happened to the paying users, I sell a software for $100 one time fee, and all these people paid me between like $30 to $50, and yeah, one time. So I gave them like free access to that, and the future software which I'm building, like another lead generation software, it's almost ready. It's actually working as well, and it's not really expensive or something. I'm gonna give them like free access to that as well. So yeah, I did fucking compensate them, so I did not take their money and run away, in case you're wondering that. But the point I'm trying to convey is, if you know the ship is gonna fail, like if you know the ship is gonna sink, if you know the plane is gonna fucking crash, please do not fucking stick onto it or go into the fucking plane or the ship. just because you have invested a lot of time and you're gonna look stupid in front of people whose opinions you care about. And this is really fucking difficult for me, especially if you have an audience, bro. Fucking hell. Like, imagine there's a guy who built like 100,000 followers preaching them that an agency business model is the best business model, and then he has to pivot and tell them, bro, these are the fucking problems with it. And if I was starting over, I might get into this thing. Of course, that's going to be difficult. Imagine like there was a guy whose entire his entire YouTube channel or his entire business was built on selling people like courses on coding, but now he's seeing like AI is coming over and AI is making like coding so easy, so the future of coding is AI. So instead of like, it will be so fucking hard for him to actually come out on his YouTube channel and tell everyone that, bro, AI is the future. You don't actually need to learn how to code. You don't need to buy these courses. It's gonna take like a hit to his ego. But if he really wants to win and succeed in the long term, he has to make that debt. Because eventually, like, over a long enough period of time, if you're not aligned with the reality, like how things actually are, the fundamental truths of the universe, you're gonna fail. If you like a quick example so that you actually understand the philosophy behind it is, let's say Amazon. Amazon is the most successful e-commerce platform in the world because they understand that human wants goods, e-commerce products delivered to them cheaply, extremely fast, and they don't want to have any risk associated with it. That's why Amazon is the most successful e-commerce store. All the dropshipping stores, they're fucking dodgy as fuck. They're trying to import like products as cheaply as possible from China without giving a shit about the quality, and they're trying to sell it as expensive as possible. And they have like extremely long shipping times. They have to wait for like 3 fucking weeks or like 4 fucking weeks, people, after they place the order. So that's the difference. This business might make money in the short term because a trendy product goes viral on TikTok or some shit. But over a long enough period of time, like, you cannot build a business that goes against human nature and human principles. So even if I built out this database, I did really good marketing. If people are not getting results from it, they simply won't pay. And that's a pretty good litmus test to know if you should actually continue working on a product or something or not. Like, when is it okay to give up and when it's not okay to give up. Ask yourself like random common sense questions. Is this actually making sense? Like, is the product I'm trying to sell actually helpful? For example, I know it's fucking easy and effortless to sell like AI to local businesses. In order to make some quick bucks, I can absolutely like easily, effortlessly do it. And I sold it. I made YouTube videos like me literally signing a client for like AI employee in like less than 24 to 48 hours. I've made an entire video on the exact offer, exact message I use, how I reached out to people, how I signed clients without a sales call. I made the money. But I realized like these local businesses, they won't actually benefit from an AI employee. If a business has like massive needs, like a company which is a multi-million dollar company, like let's say an e-commerce store like MyProtein. MyProtein is a massive company and they have like thousands of customers and they need to track their orders and everything. That's a company which would benefit from AI because they get so many queries and AI can actually handle all these queries. But a local business that getting like 3 text messages a day on WhatsApp, those people paying like $300 to $500 a month for an AI solution, it's not actually making sense, man, to be honest. Not actually making sense. So yeah, in the short term, you can win with this. But you know the boat is eventually gonna sink. Because that business actually does not need it. For example, like my friend Shad, who owns a company called Bundle Media, which makes like $30,000 a month. He said like, Somil, there's like an eye doctor and he wants appointments. So Shad actually works with us. So we book like appointments for Shad and he pays us for qualified sales calls we generate for his company. So he's actually a client of ours as well. And he said, bro, can you actually help out this person? And I thought of it. The greedy part of me was like, bro, we'll actually fucking figure it out. We'll get them like more appointments. We'll just try it out, whatever. We'll try to run ads. We'll try to ask him to cover the ad spend, whatever. And I just thought of it for a moment. I mean, if I have an infection in my eye, I'm going to ask my friends and I'm going to ask them, who the fuck is the most qualified doctor to fix this? I'm going to go to the most reputable doctor. I'm not randomly going to be scrolling reels one day and see like a Facebook ad of a doctor offering like a free eye cleanup or a free eye checkup and be like, yeah, I want to go to the doctor. I mean, like, it's a fucking doctor. It's not a fucking business. And I said, okay, looking at it in the first principles, like human fucking nature, Do humans actually need to see ads of an eye doctor when they're doom scrolling? Of course not. And if humans have a problem in the eyes, they're not going to be doom scrolling. They're going to be looking at a fucking solution. If people genuinely have a serious problem, they're not going to find the solution of that problem looking at a fucking meta ad. And people just simply go, like, I've spoken to so many successful doctors, dentists, like, in my locality. Like, the most successful dentists who actually have, like, multiple locations. There's so much in demand, they actually have to fly out because people are willing to pay the premium. And I just ask them, like, what do you do? How do you have, like, so many customers? And they're like, bro, just word of mouth. Just being honest with my customers, being fully transparent and delivering, like, the best quality service. And I was like, yeah, fuck yes. If I go to a doctor and he's the absolute best at what he does, of course I'm going to refer him. And I won't go to a random doctor who I saw an ad on fucking Facebook. I'll just fucking go to the guy who fucking is recommended to me by people I trust and people I know who care about me. I'm going to ask my mom, like, who's a good doctor in the area. And she's going to tell me, yeah, I went to this person and yeah, doctor that person, whatever. He's a nice person. So whenever you're building something, whenever you're going into a relationship, just ask yourself, like, does this actually make sense? For example, the relationship I was in where I broke up, she wanted a life which was completely different to mine. She wanted a typical middle class life where the guy is making like $3,000 to $5,000 a month and she's making like $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and they have like a couple of dogs. They live in an apartment in like a tier 2 or a tier 3 city, and yeah, they go to a 9 to 5 job and then they come back. Maybe they go to the gym and they make dinner together, they watch some Netflix and then they go to sleep. That's fine. I'm not saying that's bad. Like, if that's the life she wants, like, yeah, good, whatever. May God bless her, may she finds a boyfriend who does that. But I had a completely different life. I wanted to be the guy who makes like fucking millions of dollars, the guy who sells his company for like $100 million plus. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be him. Not, like, I did not want to be the fucking middle class fucking idiot retard. I did not want that life. There's nothing wrong with wanting that life, I just did not want it. So that relationship on the foundational level, it was meant to fail. It was bound to fail. And it's a very good model to think of, like, just ask yourself, like, is this actually making sense? And a lot of the times you don't want to live in the fucking silence. You don't, like, we just want to run away from the difficult, important questions. We just constantly want to fucking distract our minds, like listening to music and all of that crap, and never have a conversation with ourselves. Because we know there is some fucking truth which we're fucking avoiding, and I'm guilty of this. I would just constantly like listen to audiobooks, like music, and just keep on talking to people, not giving myself the time to actually be alone with my thoughts in my own space. Because I know when I do that, I'll be forced to ask myself and tackle the important fucking questions, the big problems which I've been fucking avoiding. But when you fucking face that shit, you realize like what you actually need to do. You realize that, like, the perfect example, Warren used to say, like, the famous investor who's worth billions of dollars, it does not matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you're in. And an extension of that saying might be that it does not matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you're in. And it also matters what lake you're in, like what lake your boat is in. So just ensure the direction towards which you're digging, the direction towards which you're rowing is actually the correct direction. If you're stuck in Africa and you want to reach Asia, you should be moving towards the east. And if you're stuck in Africa and you want to go to the fucking, like, you want to go to the US, you should be rowing towards the west. And a lot of the times, we might actually want to end up in a country like, let's say, Bali, and we might start rowing towards the west by mistake because everyone is rowing towards the west, or we made like a impulsive decision without actually thinking it through. We start moving towards the west, but we've rowed a couple of kilometers and then it's too freaking late. We think it's too late actually to acknowledge the fact we were wrong, and we actually need to go in that direction. Because what will happen is we need to like go all the way back in. We waste all of this effort, actually double the effort, because we just wasted like so much of resources and time and effort into just ending up at the same place we already were at, point zero. And then we look dumb in front of all the fucking people at the port who have seen us twice. They're like, bro, you just left for the journey. Why the fuck did you come back? And then you have to tell them, yeah, I was wrong. I actually needed to go to that place. And then actually starting the commute towards that place again. It's so fucking painful. But if you don't want to end up there, bro, like, why the fuck would he even care what these people think? Because even if you give it like your all, your 100%, and you actually get to that destination as well, it's pointless, right? Because me and you, didn't want to end up there. We wanted to end up in here. We wanted to end up in Bali on a fucking beach, not in the fucking winters of Canada. And that's the only analogy. And if you wanted to, like, a practical shit you can actually apply as a rule of thumb, like, this is just an observation I've noticed is whenever I bet on winners, I never make the wrong decision. Like, what do you mean? For example, like, let's say, how do I give a good example? I got the example of this, like, the idea of this from Luke Belmar. And he said he invested, I think, 10% of network into the Meta stock. So Meta is the company which owns like companies like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And people kind of called him dumb, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember the exact story. But I think in 1 year, he literally got like a 400% return on it. And whenever people, like, he's a very good investor in terms of crypto and stocks. And whenever people ask him, like, what's your number one, like, investing advice? He would always say, like, just bet on winners. So let's say there's a company which is like rising massively. It's like an underdog in, let's say, Cambodia. And it's like an electric car company. If, like, let's say it's growing at a rate of 117% and Tesla is growing at a rate of 47%. If I had to invest my money into the stock, like in the stock market, I would much rather invest it into Elon. Not because Tesla is growing faster than that company or something. Like, Tesla is actually growing at half the rate as the company in Cambodia. But I just know Elon is a fucking winner. And I would much rather bet on a fucking winner. Sure, I might think like space travel might not be impossible, or like it might be impossible. But we have to bet on winners. And whenever we bet on winners, I've never been wrong. A quick, like, actual tactical advice for business folks. Let's say, like, how do I give a good example? What's a good example? Let's say you use a system of outreach. Yeah, perfect example. Let's say you're building a software for outreach and you basically allow people to do automated mass outreach using that. Now, I think it would actually be pretty stupid if you try to build like a Facebook outreach software. Because fundamentally, if we look at it, Mark Zuckerberg does not want people to be doing outreach via Facebook. It's not a really smart idea. Because, like, it's not designed for that. But if you go out and you try to build a software which allows people to do outreach using the WhatsApp API, then it's a smart decision. Because number one, WhatsApp is a company which is owned by fucking Mark Zuckerberg, which comes under Meta, which is a winning company. I mean, that guy is in like the top 5 richest people of the world. So he clearly knows something. We don't. He's obviously a smarter person than all of us combined. So he knows something. And like, how do I explain it? Let's say I think this will be a better example. Let's say you're out to build like an ad tracking software. A software which basically allows people to optimize their paid ad campaigns and they like get a better return from every single dollar they spend on advertising. Now, if I was in your place, I have not built this, so take it with a grain of salt because I have not actually done this. But if I was you, I would like build the software for Meta ads. That's exactly what Alex Becker did. Alex Becker is an entrepreneur. He has this company called Hyros, which helps people exactly with this. It's an ad tracking software which basically means like people can use the software and they can increase like the return on investment they make from their paid ad campaigns. And he has designed that software for Google ads and Meta ads because he understands that these are winning companies. The owners of these companies are fucking winners. They're not going out of business. They're already smart. They're already great fucking companies. So he knows people are obviously going to be using Google and Facebook because a lot of people spend time on YouTube. Like, you're fucking watching this YouTube video till this point. You probably scroll on Instagram as well. So these platforms are great. People are always going to be spending their time over there, which means if people want to grab their attention, which is already present on these platforms, people are willing to pay money for that. People are willing to invest into ads. And if people are not willing to invest into ads, people won't buy his software in the first place. So he sees this is a fucking winner. So I need to fucking invest into this winner. So he's building the software taking the foundation, like the principle, the core belief he has, like he had when he built out the software, was that people are always going to pay money to Google and Facebook for ads. Because if people stop paying like Google and Facebook for advertising, then his business is dead. He does not have like 100 million company anymore. He bet on these two fucking winners. You know what an idiot would do? An idiot would go to like a company which is extremely low, like let's say Kakao Talk. Like it's a company which, like it's a text messaging platform which people in the Philippines use, I think. Because I remember I was speaking to like a girl from the Philippines and I asked her, like, do you use WhatsApp? She's like, what the fuck is WhatsApp? We use like Kakao Talk or something over here. I think it's very popular in Korea and that Philippines, so like Southeast Asian countries. He would try to build, like I don't know if you can actually run ads over there. Like I'll give you the perfect example. So like there's a platform, a company known as Grab over here. Grab, it's like a food delivery, like a supermarket grocery type app. You can order like food, drinks, groceries, everything, and you can also get like taxi rides and all in Thailand. So it's like a app made just for the Thai people. So like not actually just the Thai people, but people living in Thailand. So yeah, what an idiot would do is he would try to build like a company which is like he would try to build like an ad tracking software for a company which is a competitor of Grab. So Grab is already the number one app in this country, and if a competitor has to win against it, they would actually have to do a lot of magic over here. Firstly, it's a very small market, just like one country, whereas Meta and Google, they're like massive fucking companies. Comparing like Grab and Google and Meta, Grab is like a fucking toddler compared to these people. So if I was you, I would fucking bet on the winners and build an ad tracking platform or whatever I'm building related to advertising for people who run ads on Google and Meta instead of people who run ads on Grab. Or even worse, like the biggest idiots, they would try to build a software for people who are trying to run ads on the competitor, like the competitor app of Grab or something. I don't know the name of any of them. That's basically the point I'm trying to say. Bet on winners. Like I know if I build like a video editing software which ensures that your reels go viral, that will probably work well, because I know that Meta is a fucking legend. Like they know what they're doing. They're a winner. Like Mark Zuckerberg is clearly a winner in this game, the game of capturing attention. So I know people are obviously going to want to create reels because they know like a lot of money can be made from the same, and they'll be willing to pay for that as well. Now I won't try to go and create like a video editing app which creates viral videos for a company like Tango, because Tango is not a winning company compared to like Meta. So that's what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a stage in life, like that's the main lesson, and you kind of understand that you've invested a lot of effort into something and it's not clearly paying off, and you've invested a lot of time, everything, maybe you've told your friends, your parents, or people you care about, or people whose opinion you value a lot, and you know that deep down in your heart this is not the right thing, this is not actually going to work out, maybe it's okay to come back at square zero, to like reset your journey and start building in the right direction. Because the only thing worse which can happen from this point onwards is you keep on going in this direction when you know it's the wrong direction. You keep on building and eventually you have to end up at square one. Because you know, you fucking wasted your life. You fucking wasted your time. Like this is gonna fail, you already know it. And you have to come back to point zero, like square one eventually. So why not do it now? Because the only thing worse which can happen is, again, you spend more time, you waste more effort, you look even dumber in front of your friends and family, and then you come at this point. But if you do it now and you actually start building in the right direction by betting on winners, people who are already winning, by making assumptions about not making assumptions about human nature and actually figuring out how are humans behaving, like what are some core truths about the universe and human beings which will never change, and trying to ensure your business or whatever you're doing is aligned with the core universal truths and principles of the world, I think it's pretty easy to win. And I wish I listened to this video like a month ago. I would have saved myself a month probably. Yeah, that's it, man. Hope this kind of made sense. Take care. Bye.